Hi guys, this is the second session in my fabric learning series. So in this session we will see about the fabric lakehouse. Without further ado, we will get into it. So what is a lakehouse? Lakehouse is a terminology which comprises of two terminologies. One is data lake and data warehouse. So we need to understand about data lake and data warehouse first of all. So what is a data lake? In traditional big data analytics, data lake plays an important role where it can store various format of data, various multimedia formats of data, whether it can be structured, semi-structured, raw data, it doesn't matter, and it does not enforce a strict schema. So it is very easy to store the data and it is very easy to scalable. So the data lake was useful in that aspect. What is a data warehouse? Data warehouse is very useful for doing analytics because in data warehouse the data needs to be structured and schema needs to be enforced, and in structured way data is stored in tables, and by using the data stored in warehouse tables analytics is done. So we have seen the working. So where comes the problem? Okay, see, initially the data comes into data lake. Okay, from data lake the data needs to be transformed or transitioned into data warehouse, then analytics is done. But this is a heavy tedious task to transfer the data from data lake to data warehouse, where you need to multiple levels of cleaning and transformations. Okay, so to eliminate this problem and to leverage the advantages of these two components which is giving, right, that's where the lakehouse comes into the picture. Lakehouse picks the advantages of these two components, but eliminates the limitation of these two components. So that's what lakehouse does. So lakehouse is simply data lake plus data warehouse. That is known as lakehouse. Okay, next. Next. So this is the important terminology in one of the important terminology in the in this Fabric unified platform itself. Delta Lake tables. This is the fundamental part of the storage layer in the Fabric. Okay. So what is a Delta Lake tables doing, and why it is important? Okay. Let's say inside fabric or any external data source, so sorry, external data source systems usually they have their own format, and data files are stored in their own proprietary format, right? Okay, so when one system needs to be communicated with the other system, there some kind of conversion needs to be done. But in the Delta Lake files are there, right? They are open source format. It is readable by any data source systems. Okay, and in addition to that, it also enforces important properties of data management. For example, ACID transaction, atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability is enforced. Schema enforcement, and next one is time travel, where the data, uh, which data comes, what data comes, when it gets deleted, when it gets modified. This kind of tracking also it is done in this format, and efficient updates and deletions. Okay, so this file format is very important in the fabric layer, and whatever the data stored inside the fabric lakehouse, right? This in this file format only it will get stored. Okay, so the data gets, we see as in the data gets stored in delta lake file format inside the delta lake tables. Okay, the table is called delta table. So if this delta table is nothing but Parquet data files plus transaction log, because we know that Parquet files will store the data in columnar way, but it does not have a the tracking or monitoring feature. Okay, that's where transaction log comes into picture. Okay, so when the Parquet data files combined with this transaction log, that becomes a delta table file, and it is basis of storing for both batch and streaming workloads. Okay, next one. Next comes the security and governance. Okay, in Fabric Lakehouse, okay, the security is layered into multiple levels. So whenever a user starts working in Fabric, the first thing is the workspace creation. Okay, once workspace is created, next only comes the Lakehouse warehouse, and it goes on. Okay, so on the initial level itself, to enforce the security, workspace roles are introduced, and namely admin, a member, viewer, and contributor. Okay, which we have seen earlier in Purview. Also the same roles only are applicable here in Fabric also. Okay, but let's say sometimes you don't want to give the workspace level access. Okay, you just want to give to external user, just or for access for item also. That's where the next level comes, item level sharing. Okay, you can give only access to a specific report or dashboard. Okay, for that item level access comes into picture. Okay, next level. Okay, further more increased granularity, we have row level access and column level access. Okay, this is enforced with the help of SQL endpoint analytics, which I have shown in previous session. In this session also I will show inside Lakehouse, where we can access this SQL endpoint analytics. Okay, through this we can define row level access and column level access with by using TSQL statements. Okay, next comes the schema permissions. Permissions comes into picture in an organization where there are multiple domains are there. Let's say if you are considering automotive domain, there used to be a vehicle integration team, and also there used to be sourcing team. Okay, separate tables are created for these two teams, and separate schemas are enforced. So one team should not see the other team's data, and vice versa. Okay, in that case, schema permission comes into picture. We have seen security. In addition to that, governance also there. For governance, Fabric introduces the security tables. The security labels. Security labels we have seen in Power BI also. My the through Microsoft Purview integration, the sensitivity labels are introduced. Sensitivity labels, sorry, okay, I misstated. Sensitivity labels like confidential, highly confidential, like this you can tag the data. So even when the data is exported, these labels will get carry forwarded. Okay, these are the some security parts incorporated inside the lakehouse itself. Okay, now we will see the lakehouse, how it uh, uh, looks in Fabric. Okay. Okay, now this is the workspace which I have created inside Fabric platform. From this workspace, we can create a lake house by this option, a new item, and by clicking this, you can create a new lake house. Currently, I am not going to create it as I have already created a lake house with this option. So this is the lake house which I already created, named sales data. Okay, so if you see here, inside the lakehouse there are two folders. So whenever you create a lakehouse, by default schemas will be created inside the table, and inside the table folder and files folder will be created. The files which you are uploading into the lakehouse, namely CSVs, any raw files like JSON files, it will get attached under this folder, and the tables which you are creating by ingesting the data into the lakehouse, those tables will be created under this folder. If I expand, you can see the DBO schema. This is the default schema which is getting created under this tables folder. Okay, it will be created by default. If you see here, a sales table is there. So how I created this table means I uploaded the file named as sales.csv into Lakehouse, and once I uploaded, it will get attached under this folder. Okay, then I will go to this low to tables option. Then I will create a new table. Okay, it is showing as sales already available. The table is already available because there is a table named sales which I created with this file only. Okay, so this is the UI of the Lakehouse. So from Lakehouse, we can switch to SQL analytics endpoint. So there are two views in Lakehouse which is used primarily. One thing is this Lakehouse UI, and another one is SQL analytics endpoint. Okay, and also inside the table view we can switch to file view also from the table option. So file view, you can see the delta file and the other files which stores the properties of transaction logs and metadata. Okay, we're switching back to table view. Okay, now I'm switching to SQL analytics endpoint. Okay, so if you see here, some SQL queries I already created with this option. Okay, if you select this, new query will be created. Okay, so whatever queries we are creating, it will get attached under this my queries folder, and these are the folders which is getting created as per our actions. Okay, so these are self-explanatory, and I will just show you one query which I created. So likewise you can create any queries. Now I created a query to show the total quantity and total revenue, okay, against the customers. Likewise you can verify the info of the table as per your requirement, and then you can start creating reports. And also one more option is there which is called visual query. Okay, this is the visual query, okay, which I created earlier. uh, for the first time, if you see, it will be a source database table only. Okay, I'm switching to visual query 2, which I just now created. I didn't do any I didn't add any transformation steps. Okay, source database table. Okay, for the first time only these three things you can see in the UI. Now in this query, I added the choose columns transformation step. Similarly, you can add whatever transformations you need. Okay, this will be useful for the persons who are used to Power Query, which you can see in Power BI and Excel. Okay. Similarly, the steps will get added in this UI, like how in Power Query the steps will get added in the left side, right? Left side a pane will be there. Sorry, right side a pane will be there, and steps will get added, right? Similarly, here steps will added in the UI. So after that, you can create merge queries, or you can group by sales order number. Next transformation steps, you can proceed with that. And after that, one more option is there. If you created a table, aggregated table, by creating the adding transformation steps. After that, if you want to visualize by adding those field values into these visuals means, that also you can do. You can add and see in the visual for further verifications. Okay, so these are the important applications of this SQL analytics endpoint. Other than that, you can define security, like you can manage SQL security. If you click this option, I will show you which query which I already created. Okay, I think that query is not here. Okay, okay, I will just create now. Okay, so these are the example queries they have given. So you can see the TSQL statements here, use, create, and all, grant. So specifically, you can define permission TSQL statements here to give permissions for the users for the table. Okay, and also you have this management. The management rules is like activator. In previous session we have seen about activator, right? Similarly you can create a rule. So about this management and security and all, we will just see a overview in this session. In depth we will see in further sessions how we can define security here for the lake house. What are the correct procedure we will see in upcoming sessions about management also. So in this session, we saw an overview about Lakehouse, what is an Lakehouse, and how it looks in Fabric and all. In upcoming session, we will further dig deeper into it. Okay, so that's it for this session. Thank you.